Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in. Check out your boy, P Funk, thinking right, out here in the lab, in the wee hours in the morning, where I do what I do for you. Let's go. Rather than 25 will live by storytelling, story with a message, message and story for life. I got a good life lesson for you today. Hope you enjoy it. I'm gonna push past that. I appreciate you for tuning in and doing your thing. Let's go. Right thinkers, mission, and I'm on it. Don't make a difference who tune in, who don't. I'm still on my mission to do this. Enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate all individuals who tune in to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Get to know yourself a little bit better. Right thinkers' way of life through mental and spiritual discipline, when daily, will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka to know thyself. My mission is to get my right thinkers to do just that. Right. Excuse me. Right thinkers, your mission is to learn it, adapt it, and live it, and know thyself. Know thyself is the question I gotta ask every time. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not. I love you. Simple. I can teach them. That's why I do what I do. All for you. I got you. Stay tuned. A person who knows not and believes that he knows is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows, that means you're spiritual, but you just don't know that about you, you're spiritually asleep. I'm a spiritual alarm clock. I'm here to wake you up with spiritual truths and knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons, they reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself, and to my eye, be true. Today, I just got some information again from studying. Our DNA was spliced about 200,000 years ago with what they call the worship gene. Let's talk about it. What? Yeah, I do this so I can get information to you. I'm just passing information along. That's what I do to help you out. Okay, this should be a good one for you. Hope you get it. Hope you understand it. Let's go. The worship gene, right, thinkers? Let's talk about the worship gene. That desire to worship our higher self, aka God. That desire to do that comes from somewhere, and they said it was spiced into us over 200,000 years ago. So that answers the question of our desire to worship a higher power. But if we are brainwashed, if we are taught the wrong things, we're not worshiping God. That's right. God consciousness is having connected your heart and mind, aka the connection to heart and mind coherence. When you do that, you have made that desire to worship a higher self available, or you have reached that point where you have a desire. I have a desire to do this. I had a desire to sell drugs. So it's always a desire that makes you do what you do. You are what you believe. You are what you think. So those things control you. So if I can control what you think, how you think yourself, I pretty much control you. Mental slavery. Okay? Watch this. We have been programmed over the years to what? Know thyself. AKA know God, the higher self. We got a lower self and a higher self. Egypt, okay, Upper and Lower Egypt, that's you. You are Egypt. They need to come together. When you unite Upper and Lower Egypt, you got to wear the crown. You get to be king. You are, now you know thyself. Okay? Break it down real simple. But for those who don't know all that information, it seems like I'm talking Greek or speaking another language, but it's common sense. Let's break it down no more. If you're conscious, that means you know there is a higher conscious at work. Being conscious of your consciousness, knowing there's something else that's even more conscious. Why? Because it made it possible for us to have one. That's the free will that he gave us. Higher self, God. Okay? We know why. We didn't make ourselves. Our parents parents made them, so forth and so on. So it's been handed down, and the story go to creation story. This is why I like to start with that. Why? Because God made everything and it was perfect. Something is missing. He had the animals, he had everything. Something, man, okay? Humans. So when he made them, he fashioned us, male, female. Not that rib story. I don't decide, I don't go with that concept, but that's what it says on that. But my concept, I get only concept in the proof. He fashioned man and women, okay? So that means, but together, you got the male side, you got the female side. That's nature. That's how nature works. It's called duality. That's why Mayat represents. That's why I keep telling you, you got to know this. Balance in life, duality, choices. You're the decision maker. So understand that. And when you're conscious of that and you understand certain things, when you're taught spiritual truths, you can follow along and it makes sense. I don't care if you co-sign with what I'm saying. I don't care if you like, but one thing I do give you and everything I do give you makes sense. You can follow it or not. Truth don't have to be spooky and scary. Nope, it's got to make sense. It always makes sense. That's you can tell truth from the other stuff. If it don't add up, I ain't worried about it. Trust me. Watch this. I had no desire to worship God when I was ignorant, okay? I worship me. Ego. We all do. Unconsciously. That's why you had to become God conscious to know a higher self. Until I became spiritually enlightened, I was ignorant of God personally. I thought about it. I believe in God. I just kept it moving. When I got in trouble, oh God, help me. You know, when to pray, oh God, oh God. Those are believers. I was a believer. I wasn't a knower. When I got enlightened, I became a knower. Hence, know thyself. Next one is the need to worship a higher power is being conscious. Religion is the answer for that, but it's been tampered with, you know, so it ain't pure. I got the pure stuff. That's all I'm saying. It ain't no different than what you got, except in this purity in its natural raw form. That's all. By the time when we get to cocaine, the highest level is good. By the time we get to the people who can purchase it and do what they do with it, it's called commercial. Why? Because it's been cut. Everybody getting their money out of it and getting it in. So by the time we get to you, you just got, it's cocaine in there. Is it good? So I got the good stuff. I don't cut it. Understand? I keep using that metaphor. I'm sorry, but hey, it is what it is. All right. Now, I study top 10 knowledge, yes, but I live by my spiritual discipline. That means the knowledge that I've learned, I acquired, I'm manifesting it, I'm living it to prove that at work. Ain't no need to get knowledge and it don't do nothing but just give you knowledge. If you know that if you put good work out, you will be blessed by God. Why? Because that's what he recognizes. That's what he notices. And some people don't have to know God, but if they just doing right and living right, they would be blessed. So they have to figure, who's doing that? Okay? So you can recognize God through the things that you do for yourself. And why every time we get in trouble, we call him? If you're not praising him, if you're not obedient to him, don't expect when you need help. You serve him, you be obedient to him, you don't have to worry about that problem. I hope it's seeping in. I'm trying to give you a minute to think about that concept, because just once you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. Everything I teach makes sense. Whether you like it, agree with it, don't make a difference, but you can't say it don't make sense. So I got you. I worship, watch this. I had worship for who? My mom and my dad, like no other. And during my studies, it tells me that that's natural. That was my God. Mom was the goddess. Again, he's not here alone. He's in heaven where he does his work, whatever. All that good stuff. Y'all talk a good game, but you don't understand what you're saying. Whoever gives it to you, don't break it down so that you can understand it. You just go around chirping verses. I hate that nonsense. Everything I teach, I do. Can you say that? I know some Christians who can. So I'm not beating up them. Why? Because they doing what they claim to be. I ain't got a problem with that. But if you're not, what you're saying don't match what you're doing, I can't trust what you say to be anything other than just some good words. Just ought to sound good. And God knows that too. I ain't the only one. God knows your heart. So he knows intent also. Let me tell you this. Now, I just told you, my God, my God is his mother. That's male and female character. That's our parents. Them two were created us. So all about the God who created the world. I don't give it. That don't mean nothing to me. I can understand it, but him and my mother created me. I know that for a fact. I ain't got to believe that. I know that. In his image. So however you word it, it still don't change nothing about what I'm trying to explain to you. I know all of that. Now let's talk about this other thing. Your ego wants to be worshipped like your higher self. That's being ignorant. That's not being God conscious. That's just being egoistic and thinking you doing everything and not really realizing my pastor's the most humble guy I know. He ain't taking credit for nothing. He give it to God. And that's his thing. Respectfully understand that. Okay? When you serve your lower self, ego, aka right there, you're serving a fake and false God. First of all, you're God-like. You're not God. You have certain powers that help you become God-like. But in mind, in body, and spirit, you need to understand those factors make you human. The body makes you human. The spirit makes you God-like. Being conscious of that. The spirit is God. Making consciousness, understanding that. Now you become God-like. You know yourself. That's the whole key. But there's some things that happen for that to happen. That's the work you have to put in. Watch this. I love me. Trust me, always did. Oh, he conceded. No, I just told my first sweetheart, she told me, I love you more than I love myself. I said, you can't get that from me. Why? I love me first. So I wasn't enlightened. I was just telling what I knew. I know I got to do me first. I can't love you more than I love myself. So that's just a natural order thing. Women and men, don't put nobody before yourself. Satan, aka ego, they made up concept ego, but that's what it is. Set. They got Satan from Set. They just twisted a few, but that's where it comes from. I'm tell you that from now. Watch this. Satan, aka ego, wants to what? Be worshipped. He will do any and everything he can. That's what the Jesus story was about. When you playing this mind game with yourself, to what? Bow down to yourself, giving to your lower nature, when your higher nature waits and does what it does for you, that's what you should be awakened to. That's the call of spiritual awakening, to awaken up to your higher self, not giving in to your lower self. That's the easy way out. That was easy. Self-serving is very easy. It ain't no work in serving yourself. It ain't hard to serve yourself. Selfish, greedy, ignorant people don't have a problem doing those things. It comes natural. Working against those things is what right think is teaching you. The ego deals with the flesh pleasures, desires, materialistic things, money, nothing of spiritual, nothing of tangible, nothing intangible. Everything the ego wants is physical. The five senses live in this domain. It needs to smell, it needs to see, it needs to touch, taste, and hear. So all those things are just for the body. The spirit don't need those things. My higher self, watch this, will bless me with what I need. You ever notice, for those who may not understand how this thing work out, you ever notice when you're doing a good thing, you're doing it right there, everything's going good. Why is that? And who's the one that making every now and then just what you need happens and just show up, just happen, just be there, like magic. Wishes and dreams. No, those are blessings. One thing you have to understand about your higher self, it does good things for you if you do good things for it. Being conscious is what using that worship gene, that for the higher self, for the better good. And this is what spiritual awakening is all about. This is what reaching the house is all about. That's what makes it happen. They even tell you this. It's the worship gene. And nothing worse than worshiping self, or even worse, the wrong God. There's a lot of that going on too. I did a lesson on that, but right now we're talking about being conscious. Okay, understand that. But yeah, having the wrong information, being told the wrong thing, and believing it, you are going the wrong way. All right, my higher self. Okay, the next one is being blessed. Okay, here you go. Now, when you're spiritually enlightened, spiritual truth, knowledge of self, that's your worship gene at work. It's in us. It's like the Kundalini. It's got to be enlightened. You got to want to. It don't make you. It don't. Nope. You got to want to. Trust me. When you want to just serve your lower self, it will let you do that. People live on the third level all the time. And living good. Movie stars, actors, rappers, the professional people who get a bunch of money and still get to be not good people. Why? Because they're being rewarded for the talent that God gave them, and they're not giving God his respect, so they can't end up in a good place. Understand that. Let's go. Being God conscious is knowing God what? For yourself, and how to earn your blessings by what? Living right. I don't have no stronghold. I don't have no. I just do what works for me. I get my blessings on a daily basis because of how I live and what I do. All that rest is up to you. You can do the same thing, but do what works for you. Okay, that's all I'm saying. I ain't trying to tell you what to do. I'm aware of my higher consciousness at work here, and I'm feeling the desire to what? Worship it. Because what it does for me, I'm going to continue to do what makes it do what it do for me. The right thing. When? Daily. 24/7. I'm not going to stop. I'm persistent. If nothing else. Oh yeah. Trust me. If I get your weakness, you're going to have a problem. I'm going to probe it. That's just how it is. If I'm in attack mode, that's what I'm going to do. But if I find the spot that I can help you out, I'm going to probe that too. If I can pump good stuff into you and pump you up and get you going, I'll do that for you too. Okay? When you know yourself, watch this, you will have what I call God knowledge. And once you apply it, that's what you live every day. Maya, aka right thinking. Shitat Netta, Semi-Tawi, whatever the name is called, is anybody can do it. Just live right. And you can call it what you want. Right thinking is my choice. Okay? That's not what it is. Well, I got it from somewhere. I just choose to call it when I'm teaching it right thinking. That's why. Watch this. The desire to worship your higher self is your desire to what? Know thyself. If at one point in time in your life you didn't ask the question, who am I? Those are questions that knowing thyself will answer. Why? Because you're going in search to find the answers. That's what I did. I'm trying to make a little shortcut for most people as a teacher to help you along the way. That's all. That's why I do what I do. It's for you. Next one. I'm about to wrap it up. Well, I'm getting a little long-winded here. Okay, sorry about that. Let me get this thing down. The worship gene is why we want to what? Know ourselves. It was put there so that we can do these things so that it would happen for us. If you think this is it, once you live and get old and die, that is not. Okay, that's what you get. Let's go. I just know I'm just now letting people into my ancestral worship method or prayer time. I don't pray out loud, respectfully. I say a few words. That's not my thing. This is why I get preachers and pastors who do that. Respect, because that's not my thing. But when it comes to prayers of the heart, when it comes to getting in touch with your higher self in sincerity and earnest, difference. The worship gene, watch this, is why we ask ourselves, who am I? And desire to know yourself drives you to what? Find the truth. We don't want to just be walking around here, I believe any criteria to get you nowhere, but in trouble. The worship of a higher power is what done through rituals, which is go to church, fellowship with like-minded people. But when you leave the church, you don't stop what you do. On Sunday, everybody gets godly. Everybody wants to worship God. And we ain't going there. But don't just be that way to God on Sunday and for a few hours. And as soon as 1 o'clock comes, they go worship their pigskin. Some of us go worship the liquor store. So whatever you do outside of worshiping God, you worship that more than God. Why? You only get God on Sunday. All that stuff. They got the pigskin on Monday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. Oh, you give God, well, get me out of here about 1 o'clock. Joke. It's a joke. Just a joke. Concepts. All right, don't get don't get on that nonsense. I'm just making the point. All right, here you go. Wrapping it up. The inner desire that makes you want to know the truth is that worship gene. It's there. Last one. I personally fulfilled my desire and used my worship gene to do what? Know myself. I want to teach you to do the same. That's right there in philosophy. That's what I do for you. Stay tuned. I got more.